Jackie Gleason just broke decades of silence about the Honeymooners, and what he revealed changed everything fans thought they knew about the show. For years, Ralph Cramden became one of television's most beloved characters. But behind the scenes, there were explosive fights and casting nightmares and secrets that never made it to the public. Jackie has finally opened up about the uncomfortable truths most viewers never figured out. The real reason the show only lasted one season. The scene he refused to film that almost got him fired. Why he and Art Carney stopped speaking for months. And the one thing about playing Ralph Cramden that haunted him until his final days. This is not another fluff piece about classic television. These are revelations straight from Jackie himself, admitting mistakes and exposing tensions and explaining why the Honeymooners almost never happened at all. If you grew up watching Ralph and Norton or discovered them through reruns, what you are about to hear will completely change how you see the show. Let us get into what Jackie Gleason finally admitted after all these years. Before we dive into video, please subscribe to our channel. When Jackie Gleason pitched the Honeymooners to CBS executives in 1955, they were not convinced. Jackie was already a massive star thanks to his variety show. But network bosses worried that a sitcom about a loud, angry bus driver and his suffering wife would not connect with American families. They wanted something safer and cleaner like the other family shows dominating television at the time. But Jackie did something that changed everything. He performed a scene right there in the boardroom. He slumped his shoulders and raised his fist and delivered Ralph Cramden's famous line with such intensity that everyone in the room believed they were watching something special. That moment convinced CBS to take a chance. What most fans do not know is how close the show came to never existing at all. Even after that pitch, CBS only agreed to order 39 episodes. They refused to commit to a full multi-season run because they feared the show was too risky. Jackie later admitted he knew the network did not believe in the show the way he did. And that doubt fueled his determination to prove them wrong. He poured everything into those 39 episodes, working himself to exhaustion and demanding perfection from everyone around him. The pressure was crushing. Jackie was not just starring in the show. He was producing it and controlling every creative decision and carrying the entire concept on his shoulders. If it failed, his reputation would take a massive hit. Jackie studied real bus drivers in New York City. He watched how they moved and talked and carried the weight of their frustrations. He wanted Ralph Cramden to feel authentic, not like some Hollywood version of a working-class guy. That commitment is what made audiences believe in Ralph even when he was yelling at Alice or scheming with Norton. But what Jackie would not tell anyone for years is how that intensity created massive tension with the cast almost immediately. And that friction would define the show's entire short run. Most people assume the Honeymooners cast got along perfectly, but that is far from the truth. Jackie Gleason and Art Carney had one of the most complicated relationships in television history. On screen, they were magic. Ralph and Norton felt like real best friends with perfect chemistry and timing. But off-screen, things were often tense and uncomfortable. Jackie recently revealed just how difficult it was working with Art during certain periods of filming. Art Carney was a brilliant actor, but he struggled with alcoholism throughout his career. Jackie admitted there were days when Art showed up to rehearsals late or unprepared, and it infuriated him. Jackie was a perfectionist who expected everyone to match his work ethic, and when Art fell short, it created conflict. There was one specific incident that Jackie never spoke about publicly until years later. During the filming of an episode in the middle of the season, Art missed an entire day of rehearsal. No phone call and no explanation and no warning. Jackie was furious. He told producers he wanted Art replaced immediately. He said if Art could not show up and do his job, then they needed to find someone who could. The producers panicked. They knew Art Carney was irreplaceable. Norton was not just a character. He was the heart of the show, and the perfect counterbalance to Ralph's explosive personality. They begged Jackie to reconsider and promised they would handle the situation. Art eventually showed up the next day and apologized. Jackie accepted the apology but admitted he never fully trusted Art the same way again. He said that moment created a distance between them that lasted for months. They would film their scenes and nail the comedy. But the second the cameras stopped rolling, they barely spoke. Jackie confessed he regretted how he handled that situation. He said he should have been more understanding of Art's struggles instead of making it about himself and his standards. Art was dealing with real demons, and Jackie admitted he was too focused on the show's success to see his friend was suffering. What fans never figured out is how that tension actually made Ralph and Norton's relationship more authentic. The slight edge in their interactions and the moments of frustration mixed with genuine affection, all of it came from real emotions bubbling beneath the surface. Jackie said some of their best scenes happened during that period of conflict, because they were channeling real feelings into their performances. Years later, after the Honeymooners ended, Jackie and Art reconciled. They worked together again on Jackie's variety show, and their friendship grew stronger. But Jackie admitted the damage from that first season never completely healed. He said it taught him an important lesson about how ego and perfectionism can destroy relationships if you are not careful. One of the most shocking revelations Jackie Gleason made involves Audrey Meadows, who played Alice Craden. Most fans assume she was the first choice for the role, but that is not true. Jackie originally wanted another actress, and Audrey had to fight harder than anyone realizes to land the part. When CBS first started casting the Honeymooners, Jackie wanted to bring over Pert Kelton, who had played Alice in the original sketches on his variety show. Pert was perfect for the role. She had the timing and the toughness and the warmth that Alice needed. But there was a major problem. Pert Kelton was blacklisted. During the McCarthy era, Pert was accused of having communist ties. The accusations were never proven, but CBS refused to hire her. Network executives told Jackie they could not risk the controversy and he needed to find someone else. Jackie was devastated. He fought for Pert and argued with executives and threatened to walk away from the show entirely. But CBS would not budge. Jackie admitted this was one of the biggest regrets of his career. He felt like he abandoned Pert when she needed support, and the guilt stayed with him for decades. With Pert out, Jackie had to find a new Alice, and he was not happy about it. Several actresses auditioned, but none of them impressed him. Then Audrey Meadows came in and everything changed. Audrey was a talented actress, but she was also young and glamorous. Jackie took one look at her and said no. He told producers that Alice Craden was supposed to be a working-class housewife, not a Hollywood beauty. Audrey was crushed, but she did not give up. She went home and came up with a plan. A few days later, she sent Jackie a photo of herself. But this was not a glamorous headshot. Audrey had dressed down completely. No makeup and messy hair and wearing a plain house dress. She looked tired and real, and exactly like the Alice Craden Jackie had in his mind. The moment Jackie saw that photo, he knew she was right for the role. Audrey got the part and proved herself immediately, but Jackie admitted their relationship started off rocky. He resented that CBS had forced him to replace Pert, and even though Audrey was talented, he could not let go of his frustration. During early rehearsals, Jackie was tough on Audrey. He criticized her line delivery and questioned her choices and made her redo scenes over and over. Audrey later said those first few weeks were brutal. She felt like Jackie was testing her and trying to break her, but she refused to quit. Jackie eventually admitted he was wrong. He said Audrey brought something to Alice that even Pert might not have captured. She made Alice strong and sharp and unbreakable. Ralph could yell and threaten and throw his tantrums, but Alice never backed down. That dynamic became the foundation of the entire show, and Jackie said Audrey deserved all the credit for making it work. What fans never figured out is how much Audrey shaped the character beyond what was written in the script. Jackie revealed that Audrey would often improvise or suggest changes to her lines, and most of the time her instincts were better than the writers. Jackie learned to trust her, and their creative partnership became one of the strongest elements of the Honeymooners. But Jackie also admitted he never apologized to Audrey for how he treated her at the beginning, and that is something he regretted for the rest of his life. One of the biggest mysteries surrounding the Honeymooners is why the show only lasted one season, 39 episodes, and then it was over. For years, fans speculated about what happened. Was it canceled? Did the cast have a falling out? Did CBS lose faith in the show? Jackie Gleason finally revealed the truth, and it is not what anyone expected. The show was not canceled. Jackie himself decided to end it. CBS actually wanted more episodes. The Honeymooners was a hit, and the network was ready to renew it for multiple seasons. But Jackie walked away. He told executives he was done and refused to continue. His reasoning shocked everyone. Jackie admitted he was exhausted. Filming 39 episodes in one season, while also managing his variety show and dealing with cast tensions and maintaining his perfectionist standards, had pushed him to his breaking point. He said he could not imagine doing it again, and he feared the quality would suffer if he tried. But there was another reason Jackie did not talk about for years. He was terrified of the show becoming stale. Jackie believed the Honeymooners worked because every episode felt fresh and urgent. Ralph's schemes were funny because they were new. His fights with Alice had impact because they had not been repeated 100 times. Jackie worried that if the show continued for 5 or 10 seasons, it would lose that spark and turn into just another sitcom churning out the same jokes week after week. So Jackie made a decision that almost no one in television would make. He ended the show while it was still great. He walked away from guaranteed money and fame and success because he cared more about the show's legacy than his own career. CBS executives thought he was insane. They told him he was throwing away a fortune. But Jackie did not care. He trusted his instincts and believed that 39 perfect episodes were better than 200 mediocre ones. Jackie admitted years later that the decision haunted him. He wondered if he had made a mistake. He saw other shows run for years and build massive legacies, and he questioned whether ending the Honeymooners so soon had been the right call. But as time passed and the show remained beloved and iconic, Jackie realized he had been right. The Honeymooners never had a chance to decline. It never jumped the shark or ran out of ideas. It existed as a perfect snapshot of brilliant comedy, and that is why it endured. What fans never figured out is that Jackie's decision to end the show was not about ego or creative differences or network interference. It was about protecting something he loved. And that sacrifice is part of why The Honeymooners is still considered one of the greatest sitcoms ever made. Jackie Gleason was known for his larger-than-life personality, but even he had limits. For years, fans wondered if there were any scenes or storylines he refused to film during The Honeymooners run. Jackie finally revealed the truth. There was one episode where he pushed back hard, and it almost caused a major fight with the writers. The scene involved Ralph doing something Jackie felt crossed a line, not just for the character, but for what he was willing to portray on television. Jackie did not specify the exact episode, but he hinted it involved a storyline that made Ralph look genuinely cruel, rather than just loud and frustrated. The writers wanted Ralph to say something to Alice that was meant to be funny, but Jackie argued it would make audiences hate Ralph permanently. Ralph was supposed to be a loudmouth with a good heart. He could yell and bluster and make empty threats, but underneath it all, he loved Alice deeply. If Ralph ever truly hurt her or said something unforgivable, the entire show would collapse. The writers initially resisted. They felt Jackie was being too protective of the character, and that pushing boundaries was part of good comedy. But Jackie stood firm. He told them if they forced the scene, he would walk off set, and they could find another Ralph Cramden. After tense discussions, the writers agreed to rewrite the episode. They softened Ralph's dialogue while keeping the conflict that made the story work. Jackie admitted this was not the only time he clashed with the creative team, but it was the most significant. He said there were other moments where he questioned jokes or physical gags, especially when they made Ralph look stupid instead of sympathetic. What Jackie revealed that surprised people is how much control he actually had over Ralph Cramden's character. Unlike some sitcom stars who simply read the script as written, Jackie actively shaped how Ralph was portrayed. He added mannerisms and changed line deliveries and sometimes improvised entire moments that became iconic. The writers trusted him because he understood Ralph better than anyone. But that also meant he carried the responsibility of keeping the character consistent across all 39 episodes. Jackie's refusal to film that one scene shows something most fans never figured out. Ralph Cramden was not just a character written on a page. He was a careful balance between bluster and vulnerability, between frustration and love. And Jackie fought to protect that balance even when it meant standing up to the people who created the show. One of the most painful moments in Jackie Gleason's life happened off-screen, and it involved his relationship with his own family. Jackie admitted that playing Ralph Cramden, a character who constantly dreamed of a better life, made him confront his own failures as a husband and father. Jackie was married multiple times, and his relationships were often turbulent. He was rarely home, and he drank heavily, and he prioritized his career over everything else. He said filming scenes where Ralph promised Alice he would change, or where Ralph admitted his mistakes, felt uncomfortably real, because Jackie knew he was guilty of the same things. There was one episode where Ralph apologizes to Alice after a fight, and tells her she is the greatest thing that ever happened to him. Jackie said filming that scene broke him. He had to do multiple takes because he kept getting emotional. The crew thought he was just committed to the performance, but Jackie admitted he was thinking about his own wife and how he had failed her. He realized he was playing a character who loved his wife more than Jackie loved his own. That realization haunted him, Jackie said. The Honeymooners forced him to look at himself in ways he did not want to. Ralph was a dreamer who never achieved his dreams, but he had something Jackie did not. Ralph had Alice. He had someone who believed in him and stood by him no matter what. Jackie had fame and money and success, but his personal life was a mess. Years later, after The Honeymooners ended, Jackie tried to repair his relationships. He admitted his mistakes and tried to be a better person. But the damage was done. His marriages failed, and his relationships with his children remained strained. Jackie said one of his biggest regrets was not learning the lessons Ralph Cramden could have taught him sooner. Ralph understood that love and loyalty mattered more than money or status. Jackie took decades to figure that out. What fans never figured out is how much of Ralph Cramden was based on Jackie's own father. Jackie grew up watching his dad struggle to provide for the family. His father worked hard but never got ahead, and he carried that frustration with him every day. Jackie said Ralph's anger and his dreams of striking it rich, and his determination to give Alice a better life, all of that came from watching his father. Playing Ralph was Jackie's way of honoring his dad and understanding the sacrifices he made. But it was also painful because it reminded Jackie of everything his father never achieved. Jackie admitted that every time Ralph failed at another scheme or came home defeated, he was channeling his father's disappointments. and that emotional weight made Ralph Cramden feel real in ways other sitcom characters did not. Jackie Gleason has been asked countless times whether the Honeymooners could work today, and his answer is complicated. He does not think the show would survive in its original form, but he believes the themes are timeless. Jackie pointed out that Ralph Cramden was a product of the 1950s. The way he talked to Alice and his old-fashioned ideas about marriage and his constant get-rich-quick schemes, all of that reflected a specific time and place. If you tried to do the exact same show today, it would feel outdated and problematic. But Jackie also said the core of the Honeymooners is universal. It is about working-class struggle and dreaming of something better, and the love between two people who refuse to give up on each other. Those themes resonate in any era. Jackie believed a modern version of the Honeymooners could work if it was updated properly. Instead of a bus driver, maybe Ralph works in a warehouse or drives for a rideshare company. Instead of schemes involving uranium or pizza ovens, maybe he invests in cryptocurrency or tries to become a social media influencer. The details would change, but the heart of the character would remain the same. What Jackie worried about is whether modern audiences would accept a character like Ralph Cramden. Ralph was loud and stubborn and often wrong. He yelled at his wife and made foolish decisions and refused to admit when he was beat. Jackie said today's viewers might see Ralph as toxic or problematic instead of recognizing him as a flawed but loving husband. He feared that the nuance of the character would be lost in a culture that often reduces people to good or bad with no room for complexity. Despite these concerns, Jackie said he was proud of what the Honeymooners represented. It was one of the first sitcoms to show a working-class family struggling with real problems. It did not glamorize poverty or pretend everything was perfect.